Welcome. So starting right about now, your students are going to be wandering around, going to all of their classes, and while they're doing that, we have a whole bunch of fun stuff to cover. So, welcome. How are you guys feeling this morning? Good. Ready for school to start? Yes, I know I'm ready for school to start on Wednesday, so thank you guys for being here. My name is Melissa Uzier, and I am the head of the junior high school, so I will be working with you guys quite a bit over the next 2 years. Many of you I know, many of you I don't, but I'm super, super, super crazy excited about this school year, despite the challenges and kind of weirdness and differences from previous years. We're going to cover a lot of that stuff, so hopefully when you walk out of here, you'll feel, oh, yeah, totally, I've got this. How'd the app work this morning? Pretty straightforward? Excellent, yay. So that's kind of a great opportunity to kind of get into that routine. Like I had to tell my son, hey, make sure you know how to get to your Google account on your phone, and like had to go through that whole conversation. So it's kind of an opportunity to kind of run through all that stuff, which is what today is all about. But I kind of want to go through just some names that you may know or maybe will be seeing quite a bit in the future. Hopefully some more than others. But like I said, I'm Melissa Uzier. I've been at Holy Trinity, I think this is my 17th, 18th year, somewhere around there. So it's been a while. I started off as a history and government teacher and then did some college counseling, and I'm now here doing this. And if you guys need me for anything, please let me know. I'm going to be kind of a main contact for parents, big picture stuff, anything like that. Feel free to reach out. How many of y'all have met Blake Wilson or heard about Mr. Wilson? Okay, the heard about part from your kids. He's incredible. We are so fortunate to have him on campus. He connects with the kids, which is great because that's his job. His number one focus is going to be the kids, right? So he's the academic advisor. So if there's questions about classes, if there's questions about scheduling, anything like that, he's your guy. But he's also our school counselor in the junior high. And I can't tell you how excited I am to have a dedicated counselor for the junior high school. So any kind of social, emotional, anything like that, whether it's y'all or your students, either way, he is phenomenal. And he just connects and really, really works well with the kids. So you'll probably get to know him pretty well. Steve Henderson, we don't want y'all to know very well. He's our dean of, basically our discipline dean. When we did Junior High 101, I took the kids on a tour and showed them his door and said, I never want you to ever see this door again, right? So Mr. Henderson is incredible. He's really, really good at what he does. He connects with the kids. And so you might hear about him, Coach Henderson, okay? But hopefully it's all in a positive way, but definitely want you to know his name. Carrie Ramos, she is the other school counselor. So, if for any reason Mr. Wilson's not available or anything like that, please let your kids know that we have a second school counselor that is also available for them. So Mrs. Ramos. And then Jared Jones is our school chaplain. And they'll be seeing him about 3 times a week for chapel. One of the things we wanted to talk about and just kind of let y'all know what's very, very, very important to us, I mean, so much so that it's this third slide in our presentation, is this is a school that is very much based on our code of conduct and our honor code. So I wanted to make sure that you guys had the chance to see this. Sometimes it's kind of embedded in a handbook or, something like that where you don't get to really feel it or see it. But these are things that we live by at Holy Trinity. And I have the utmost confidence that your students will also kind of fall in and kind of embody this as much as we try for ourselves as individuals on campus as adults, and then also trying to teach them these things. And so our code of conduct, high personal standards of courtesy, decency, morality, acceptable language, honesty, and wholesome relationships with others are required. And so, again, we encourage this as the basis of how they function on campus, how they interact with each other, how they interact with the adults. And we wanted y'all to know that that was really, really deep down huge for us. And then our honor code, okay, every student will be signing it if they haven't signed it already. Actually, I think we have all of our 7th graders sign it anyway, even if they came up from the lower school. But this applies to how they conduct themselves in large part in an academic way, okay, with regards to plagiarism or cheating or anything like that. And again, another thing that's just kind of really who we are. So I wanted to make sure I shared it with you guys because it's kind of cool and kind of important. And now something that's kind of fun and just, it's Don't laugh too hard at parts that are not intentionally funny. But we've got a video that's basically going to help you guys with tackling the top 10 things of what to know about coming back to school. Okay, so I'm going to let this play, and then if you guys have any questions, we can.
Welcome back. We are so excited to see everyone and cannot wait for our first day all together. Remember, school starts Wednesday, September 2nd. And as we begin the new school year, we wanted to share with you the top 10 things you need to know to have a successful first day and beyond. We will count down from 10 to 1, and we'll begin with Mrs. Uzier for number 10.
Hi, I'm Melissa Uzier, head of the junior high, and I've got number 10, the Aux Safety app. Daily health screenings are vital to Holy Trinity's ability to keep our community safe. As such, we have partnered with the very robust and user-friendly Aux Safety app, which requires that every student complete a health screening prior to leaving home each day. Parents must download the app as they are the responsible party for the screenings. Students do not need to download the app. By now, you have had access to the app for almost a week and have hopefully been completing the screenings daily for your children. We encourage you to set an alarm on your phone or establish another system to remind you to complete the app each morning, no earlier than 5 a.m. Prior to departing for school each weekday morning, parents will complete the screening on behalf of their children. The recorded temperature, along with the health-related questions in the app, will determine if a student is eligible or ineligible to come on campus that day. If eligible, parents and students will receive a green Campus Safety Pass in their email. For students, the email to check is their HTEA Google email account. School officials will be located in the car loop and at the student gate in the main parking lot. Upon arrival, students must show their green safety pass to one of those school officials. If a green safety pass with the correct date on it is not shown, the student will not be permitted to enter campus. In addition, if you are declared ineligible, then you will please stay home and wait for a call from Nurse Emily. If you are planning on being absent, whether it's due to non-COVID related illness or travel, please call Mrs. Arter as you normally would do every year.
Hi, I'm Blake Wilson, Junior High Academic Advisor and Counselor. Morning arrival will look very much like it has in the past. Families utilizing the car line in the mornings will enter and exit from Business Center Boulevard. Students will be dropped off in front of the Scott Center. Student drivers will enter the parking lot from the Pineda Causeway and will arrive on campus via the front gate. For the safety of all drivers, the gate that connects the front parking lot to Business Center Boulevard will be closed. While much of the morning routine will be similar to last year, there are some changes that are necessary to ensure that every student has been cleared to be on campus. HT faculty and staff members will be present at both the Scott Center and the front gate to check the Aux Safety app of every student as they arrive. If there are any medical concerns, Nurse Emily will be available for consultation. Another difference is that the gym and the library will be closed until the start of school at 8 a.m. We want to encourage students to utilize our outdoor spaces whenever possible this year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cindy Bruce, and I'm the head of the senior high. I'm here to talk to you about health and safety. As you may have seen in the health and safety video that came out a few weeks ago, we have placed hand sanitizing stations throughout campus. In addition, hand sanitizer is available in every classroom. All products used by Holy Trinity are reviewed and comply with CDC acceptable sanitizers. Students and faculty will be encouraged to wash their hands and or use hand sanitizer as often as possible throughout the day. Please work with us to ensure that your child complies with our face covering policy. It is in place to keep all members of the Holy Trinity community safe while here on campus. Due to the nature of our classrooms and the need for our teachers to move freely around the classroom, physical distancing is not possible in a majority of our classroom spaces. Face coverings will be worn by all persons on campus while entering, exiting, or traveling on campus, while attending all indoor classes and chapel, during restroom use, and while using lockers and locker rooms. Opportunities will exist during the day in which students will be outside and physically distant and can therefore remove their face coverings. These opportunities include breaks, home learning, lunch, and times in which a class may be outside for any reason. Face coverings are not required during physical education classes, as the physical education faculty will be planning lessons and activities that promote physical distancing and utilize our outdoor spaces as much as possible. The CDC recommends that all cloth face coverings can be made of multiple layers of fabric. The color and style of the face covering can be of student choice. However, face coverings cannot contain disruptive or inappropriate content. To prevent unnecessary distractions and keep the students and school day focused on learning, face coverings may not be reflective of current political or social movements. When there are varying interpretations of appropriateness, the administration is sanctioned to make the final determination of acceptable and appropriate dress. If the final determination is that the face covering is not acceptable, the student will be asked to use a mask or face covering supplied by the school.
Hi, I'm Dean Henderson, and I'm going to talk to you today about lockers and cell phone policies. As in the past years, lockers have been assigned to all upper school students. Locker numbers and combination can be found in a student's contact card on campus. Since junior high students use their lockers more regularly than senior high students and rely on their lockers to help with overall organization, we are taking an extra effort to ensure that all students will be at their lockers at the same time. Junior high lockers have been assigned based on students' grade level. 7th graders will have bottom lockers, while 8th graders will have top lockers. 7th graders will be able to go to their lockers after odd number class periods, and 8th graders will be allowed to visit their lockers after even number periods. Senior high students will be encouraged to carry materials for several classes at one time in order to limit the trips to their lockers. School-wide, there has been an effort by teachers to limit the need for textbooks on a daily basis. This will also help to limit the need to visit lockers multiple times a day and to help keep the halls as clear as possible. Cell phones will be allowed on campus, but will continue to limit their usage during the school day. Senior high students will keep their cell phones in their backpacks or lockers and will only be allowed to use them before school, during break, or lunch, after school, or when necessary for a class activity. Junior high students will put their phones in their lockers before school begins and will not, again, have access to them until the end of the school day. Let's work together to help students comply with the phone policy so that the cell phone does not become a distraction to the educational environment. If you need to contact your child during school hours, please call the front office and Ms. Ardo will be more than happy to help.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Pedicini, and I'm here to talk to you about the new daily bell schedule. We've made some significant changes to our daily bell schedule. We've added time between each class to allow for teachers to clean their classrooms and for students to move around campus. In addition, we've added a second chapel to limit the number of students in the Scott Center at one time and to allow for students to spread out in that space. We've also created 2 break times, one in the afternoon and one in the morning, which will help to break up the day and allow for opportunities for mass breaks. One final change regarding the bell schedule is that we will not rotate our afternoon classes. We are holding our afternoon classes in an A-week format, 5, 6, 7, all year in order to create more consistency from week to week and less confusion due to the other changes that have occurred. You can find the new bell schedule on your on-campus resource page via the Parent Quick Links button. Please take a few minutes to review the new schedule with your child so that you both feel comfortable on how the day will run.
Hello, I'm Beth McHenry, High School Academic Advisor. Another change that students will notice is that there are designated entry and exit doors for each classroom. The purpose of this decision is to limit the number of people passing each other in the interior hallways at any given time. In the senior high buildings, for odd number classrooms, students will enter using the exterior door on the outside of the building, and they will exit the classroom using the hallway door. For the even-numbered classrooms in senior high, students will enter using the hallway door and exit using the exterior doors on the outside of the building. In the junior high building, the entry door for most classrooms will be the exterior or outside door. Students will exit using the hallway doors. Signs have been placed on each door to assist students in understanding the traffic flow, and administrators and staff will be present during all class changes.
Hi everyone, it's Carrie Ramos and I'm the Director of School Counseling. For break and homeroom this year, students and parents will notice that we have added 2 times to the school day, which will either be a break time or a homeroom time. We have provided these 2 times so that we can separate junior high and senior high classes and limit the number of students in the quad area at one time. Junior high students will have homeroom after 2nd period and break after 5th period. Senior high students will have break after 2nd period and homeroom after 5th period. The break will provide an opportunity for students to be outside enjoying fresh air, a mask break, and socialization while staying physically distanced from their peers. Students will be permitted to be in the internal quad area and picnic tables. For homeroom, students will remain with their 2nd or 5th period teacher and class, but they will be able to relax indoors or outdoors as a group. Those classes that go outside for homeroom will be along the exterior parts of the buildings or in front of the auditorium to stay separate from those on break. We hope these short stoppages during the school day will provide students with opportunities to rest and refresh their mind, body, and spirit.
Hi, I'm Allison Bell and I'm the head of planning and enrollment. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what lunch will look like this fall. Students will still be separated into 2 lunch periods during the school day. Students who buy lunch should report to the Tiger Cafe and follow the signs for pickup. There will be multiple locations within the cafe based on what was ordered. People who are bringing their lunch can head straight to their favorite or assigned lunch spot. We have added 5 minutes to the lunch period to help ease congestion for food pickup and give students time to find seating. We have increased outside seating options to encourage students to enjoy lunch outdoors. 7th graders will be permitted to sit in the Tiger Cafe or just outside the Tiger Cafe in the swim pavilion or the front picnic tables. 8th graders will be permitted to sit in front of the auditorium on the tennis courts or in the gazebo near the tennis courts. 9th graders will be permitted to sit in front of the library or under the newly built Lakeview Pavilion. Students in grades 10 through 12 will not be assigned to one specific area, but must respect all posted signs regarding physical distancing during lunch. And all students are encouraged to bring a towel to take advantage of eating lunch on our grassy areas when the weather cooperates.
Hi, my name is Rosalie Lugaro, and I am one of the college advisors for 11th and 12th grade. Let's talk about chapel time. In order to allow for us still to partially gather together as a community of faith while practicing proper physical distancing, we have built 2 separate chapel times in our daily schedule. Students in grades 10 to 12 will attend chapel after 3rd period, beginning at approximately 10:40 a.m. Students in grades 7 to 9 will attend chapel after 4th period, beginning around 12:15 p.m. Students will bring their books and their backpacks with them, and they will sit in an assigned row and an assigned seat so that teachers can ensure proper separation. Students will sit every other row, and they will put their backpacks and their books on the front row in front of them as they arrive. In addition, students will not be sitting directly next to one another, as they will require to have at least one seat between them and others in the row. We will continue to have chapel 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mr. Hill's broadcast class We'll run weekly announcements on Tuesdays. And on Thursdays, we will be reserving those days for other speakers or announcements. Chaplain Jerry is so excited to deliver his message to the students in a smaller group setting.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Pagan. I'm the Director of College Counseling. And the number one thing you need to know before the first day of school, dismissal. With the adjustment of the new daily schedule, the school day will now end at 3:10. Student drivers will exit by way of the main walking gate that leads to the parking lot. And then, using the new drive and the new stoplight at Pineda, you may turn left or right to leave campus. The gate allowing access to the athletic complex and Holy Trinity Drive will remain closed until the car line process is complete, which will be approximately 3:25 to 3:30. For parents using car line for after-school pickup, please enter the campus to the south on Holy Trinity Drive by way of Business Center Drive. The far gate on Holy Trinity Drive will open at approximately 2:45 to allow for parents to begin lining up. New this year, we will be handing out car tags for families, and we ask that you prominently display these in your front window so that we can efficiently find your children when you pull up into the loop. Once you arrive in the front circle, please pull all the way forward so that we can fit as many cars as possible for loading purposes. We will have numerous administrators on hand each afternoon to help spread out the waiting students in lines from the front to the rear of the car loop. If your child is not there by the time the other cars are full, you'll be asked to exit the loop and drive to the new parking lot by the athletic complex, as that will be our cell phone waiting lot. You can wait there until your child calls to alert you that he or she is ready for pickup. At that time, you can easily re-enter the line and proceed forward to pick up your children. When you exit the loop, you will turn left back onto Holy Trinity Drive and exit the campus the same way you came in. This is to keep our car line riders and our student drivers separated for the safety of everyone. If your child is a junior high student, he or she must be picked up by 3:25 or will have to report to supervised study. Thank you for talking with your child so that we can work together to make this process efficient and painless.
We hope you have learned a thing or two about the new school year and are excited about day one as we are. We look forward to seeing you on September 2nd. Enjoy this last bit of your summer break. See you soon.
We are going to be posting that on our website and probably sending it out via email or something in some way, so that we would ask that you sit down and watch it with your child. I know it takes 17 minutes, sorry, but there's a lot of really good information that will help them feel comfortable on the first day of school. So that's why we put the effort into making it so that y'all would feel at ease and your students would feel at ease. Some of it will just become a habit and it won't even be a big deal at all. Like the entry and the exit, they'll just get used to that new routine. Some of it, like car loop or car line or any of those, lunch, might be a good thing to kind of talk about. I will ask that everybody, and we're asking this of the students, we're asking this of the teacher, our kind of themes for this year. Oh, I hate the word theme in that context, but our focus, there we go, for this year is going to be flexibility and grace. So if we say 3:25, 3:30, and then it ends up car line lasts till 3:40. We'll make adjustments and we'll communicate. So flexibility and grace, that's our focus for the year. But hoping that film or that video will help you guys wrap your brain around everything as well as your child. All right, hold on. There we go. I want to introduce you to our faculty. They're currently with your students, so they can't be here to kind of do the wave and all of that. So I want to introduce you to them and kind of give you a little bit of background on what they're doing and what classes they teach. We're going to go through the entire junior high faculty, not just the 7th grade teachers, but I'll tell you specifically the 7th grade teachers as well. But also throwing in kind of a fun piece of information to help you kind of remember. And I'll tell you, when I was going through this, wow, there's some really cool stuff with these teachers that I didn't know about. So kind of fun. But with Mr. Wilson, again, we've heard of him. But he is going to continue working with your students. He was out there this morning. He's incredible. And as I said, he's going to be the academic advisor and school counselor. Something kind of interesting, he belonged to, let me see if I get this right, the Cape Cod bridge jumping team when he was back in college, which it's not really a team, it's just a bunch of people that jumped off of bridges in Cape Cod. I don't know, he's got a lot of really fun facts that you'll probably hear, like he slept in an igloo. I mean, he's got some legit fun stuff, so continue like encouraging your kids to get to know him because he's pretty amazing. All right, then we've got Mrs. Givens. She is the 7th grade English teacher. So you guys will probably hear a lot about her. She's amazing and a lot of fun. She's been here. She's been a teacher in the social studies department, a teacher in the English department. She's got an incredible background, and she loves to camp. Like camping's her thing, but probably more like glamping because it's RV camping. That's what she goes for. So she's going to get your kids to read some really incredible books, a lot of fun books that might actually like chew on this with my younger daughter or my older daughter. We talked about that a lot. So you'll probably hear about her class quite often. And she's also teaching a section of 8th grade English as well. We've got Mrs. Perchnick. She is the 8th grade English teacher, so you guys will learn more about her next year. But she actually just got a second dog. Her dogs are little Pomeranians, and they're so cute. And she's also a Jersey girl, which I didn't know. And kind of crazy, she's an English teacher, but she also has a degree in math. That normally doesn't happen. So pretty incredible right there. All right, Mr. Bowden, he teaches our robotics class as well as the 8th grade physical science advanced. And he played golf in college, has hit 4 holes in one in his lifetime, and he's also an identical twin. So I'm kind of waiting for the day that his twin comes in and tries to teach the class. At least I kind of hope that happens. Probably won't, but. Okay, Mrs. Bailey, you guys might see her on your child's schedules. She is going to be teaching our Introduction to Design, Engineering, and Program class. This classroom is going to be shared with robotics. It's incredible. It's pretty a neat space, and she wants you all to know that she is always smiling behind her mask. It was really important for her to know, for you guys to know that. Okay, we've got Mrs. DeRozier. She's the 7th grade life science teacher. She's also teaching a class in the high school, anatomy and physiology. She's incredibly talented. She's actually a consultant for science for people who write fiction novels, which is kind of cool. And she also likes to knit despite living in Florida. So I think she knits a lot and then never gets to wear it or do anything with it, but it's very soothing and calming for her. Okay, we've got Miss Martin. She's actually brand new to the school. She's going to be teaching 8th grade physical science. And her fun fact is she really likes frogs, but she also swam the coral reefs in Australia. She was doing some coursework out there and was able to study the coral reefs and pretty amazing experience. We've got Mr. Bailey. He's an 8th grade American history teacher. He also is teaching 2 sections of sports psychology in the high school. So he's going to be busy. And he's been at Holy Trinity for quite a long time. He's got a son that's going into 11th grade and is also the track coach and the cross-country coach. So if anyone has a student running cross-country? Nobody? Okay, well, if they decide to, Coach Bailey's the person to talk to. Okay? We've got Mr. Dowling. Mr. Dowling is the 7th grade world geography teacher, and he's also teaching a section or 2 of American history. But your kids will know him for their world geography. He's got some really cool projects and really teaches the kids not just about geography, but also about why the geography matters in the development of the cultures in the different areas. And he actually started at the lower school and then ended up here. Okay, we got Mrs. Malevich. Starts with a C. That's how you say it. Malevich. Throws me off. It's my goal before the end of the year to be able to spell it without looking. I've been able to master saying it, I think. But she's going to be teaching pre-algebra advanced, and then algebra 1. Okay, very, very talented person, and she loves coffee. Just throwing that out there. Loves coffee. And she also likes to read and ride her bike, but Starbucks is her fave. Okay, we got Mrs. Grubka. She teaches Algebra 1 and also Algebra 1 honors. She's like a legend level teacher. Okay, she taught in the public schools for a really long time, and then we've been blessed to have her here. This is her second year at Holy Trinity, and I'm talking legendary status. If you live beachside, you might have heard of Miss Grubka. But she also was an Air Force brat that was born in Turkey. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, we've got Mrs. Welch. Mrs. Welch has been at Holy Trinity for a really long time. She teaches geometry and geometry honors, and she has 2 graduates. One graduated just this past year, and is a long-suffering Miami Dolphins fan. Oh, we got to, all right. But she's hoping better times are ahead. Go to Okay, we've got Mrs. Alvarez. She teaches our Spanish 1 course. She's a lot of fun. She's got a classroom right there on the edge of the junior high building, and your students will see her a lot. She's originally from Puerto Rico, and she really loves yet misses hugs. Right? She sees her students. She's like, I just want to hug you, but I can't. So high five. But we can't do that either. So hi. She's having a moment with all of that. But she's a lot of fun. Okay, we've got Mr. Mize. He teaches our Latin 1 course, so some of y'all's students might be taking that. He also has been at Holy Trinity for a while, and in terms of his fun fact, he has trouble finding shoes because he wears a size 15. So just kind of stay out of his way if he's walking. Okay, then you've got Mrs. Moniz. She teaches the Spanish 1 and the Spanish 2 course. And over the summer, she paddled over 500 miles on her paddleboard. This was her thing. This is how she stayed sane and physically distanced, and 500 miles on her paddleboard. That's pretty incredible. And she's just as good at teaching Spanish as she is paddleboarding. Okay, pretty amazing. And then we've got Mrs. Sacra. She teaches our French 2 class. So again, maybe more next year for some of y'all. But she is passionate about the French language. And she's also the first person to stand up and say, do you need help? I will help you. She helped out at graduation last year. I mean, she usually brings her entire family, like nieces and nephews and all of that as well. So very committed. All right, we've got Miss Siegel. She's actually another new teacher to Holy Trinity. She's going to be teaching the French 1 class as well as the critical thinking and problem solving class. She came to us from Johnson Junior High, where she was kind of the coordinator for the AVID program. So she has a ton of background, especially with the French, but also with that problem solving class. Really excited about that. And she likes to bake. So that's her thing. She took cake decorating classes. I've seen some pictures of her cakes. They're like beyond Publix worthy. I mean, they're pretty incredible. But her specialty is a buttermilk cake with a Swiss meringue. Okay, we've got Mrs. Wilbur. She teaches Latin 2. Mrs. Wilbur is a graduate from Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy, and I taught Mrs. Wilbur. But I was very young when I started teaching. Very young. She's been a teacher at Holy Trinity for longer than I'd like to admit. But yeah, she's pretty amazing. Mrs. Garino, she teaches our Art Survey and our Art Survey Advanced class. She has so many plans for your students for this year if you're in that the Art Survey class. And she designs her own jewelry. So a lot of the jewelry that she actually wears, she's designed and she's made. She also, if you're in a pinch and need some jewelry real quick as like a gift or a thank you or I'm sorry or a happy anniversary, hit her up. Okay, we've got Mr. McCarl. He teaches symphonic band and concert band. He's been at Holy Trinity a long time. Some of you may know him from the lower school. He did the band at the lower school. And he's going to become a dad very, very soon. So that's kind of exciting. All right, we've got Mrs. Meyer. She teaches the acting class, which actually is normally in this space. However, today they're meeting over there in the small chapel. But Mrs. Meyer has been with Holy Trinity for quite a long time, and she has starred in multiple productions locally. So it might be if you've ever been at the Henniger Center or Cocoa Beach Playhouse or any of those, you may have actually seen her in those performances. Okay, Mr. Slauson is percussion 1 and percussion 2. Mr. Slauson has trained in Juilliard. He writes multiple pieces or has written multiple pieces for Holy Trinity. A lot of times if you come in and you are participating, for example, this year for Veterans Day, he's writing a special original piece for Veterans Day program. He's incredibly talented and a gifted musician and composer. Then you got Mrs. Waycaster. She teaches choir, beginning orchestra, and also advanced orchestra, so strings and singing. And she has pretty much sung the national anthem at a lot of different venues. She was actually, if anyone watched the recording of our graduation this past year, she sang the national anthem. She's got an incredible voice. So we're very lucky to have her. Mr. Clark, he is going to actually be teaching mostly high school PE classes, but he's also going to be in charge of our 4th period and 7th period quiet study classes. Great guy, also very talented in math realm. So he's a PE teacher and a math teacher. Okay, then we've got Mrs. Harper. She's been with us, started at the lower school and is now here at the upper school, has been here for a while. She teaches our 8th grade PE program. And this is good to know for 7th graders too, and me, she keeps chocolate in her office. She says it's because of the antioxidants. But anyway, if you need a chocolate fix, talk to Miss Harper. Okay, we got Coach Hooks. He's going to be your 7th grade PE teacher, and he's actually really excited about teaching the 7th graders again. He used to do this a while ago and then started teaching the high school, and now he's back to teaching the 7th grade, and he's very, very excited. He is also our football coach and will be very, very involved in the developmental football program for junior high students as well. And then last but not least is Karen Roach. She is one of our academic coaches. She specializes in organizational skills, English, and then also social science. But she's also going to be taking the 6th period quiet study class as well. She too has been in the acting world. She was a dancer for 10 years at her community theater. Not around here, so you probably haven't seen her. But she's an excellent, excellent resource, but also might be on your child's schedule for quiet study. So that's a pretty brief review of those people that your students are going to be interacting with. We, unfortunately, today don't really have the time built in to have y'all meet the teachers, in part because we're mostly wanting to limit access to the classrooms, going into the beginning of the school year. We will, however, be coming out with more information about our open house, which is usually in the first couple weeks of school. So you'll be able to kind of meet them. It might be virtual, but you'll get the chance to kind of see them and have them talk to you. And please, if you have a question, just reach out and email them. Our junior high faculty is incredible. I am blown away by their level of commitment, by their knowledge of their subject, and by their desire to help you and your students succeed. Okay, junior high is like practicing for high school. High school's practicing for adulthood. So we're kind of working on creating children that are going to be adults that contribute to the world, not just based on our code of conduct and our honor code, but also in the interactions between the teachers and the students, and then the teachers and the teachers. And so it's this group of people I am, again, blown away by. So I hope the same for you. Couple of things that we wanted to put on your radar. And you can take a picture of this. We are going to send it out. Either way, frantically take notes. It's up to you. But we have 4 paid out of uniforms each year. Okay, and those are the dates that are listed. Please look at the handbook for what's appropriate an out of uniform day. Bathing suits, not so much, which is one of the reasons why we put it in colder days of the year. But this year, instead of having, a lot of times at orientation, you just pay $10 and you're covered for the rest of the year. We're going to put it in an on-campus form it is going to be available starting on Wednesday, so the first day of school. And then you can fill it out anytime between then and the first out of uniform day. So you can pay online, you can do all of that. So it'll probably be set up through your student's account. So if they ask you, Mom, can I have the credit card for out of uniform? It's legit, okay? It's really a thing, okay? But that's how we're going to do it this year. PE clothes, all right? If you have not yet bought PE clothes for your child, they can be purchased in the front office, all right? After today, they will be, you can go over there and purchase PE uniforms. They, however, will not need the PE uniforms on the first day of class. Okay, the first day of class is going to be, going through all of the procedures and all of that type of thing. But you will need them probably by the 2nd or 3rd day. So please think about sending those in, and even if they just want to go ahead and put it in their backpack for the 1st or 2nd day, and then they can put it in their locker. I do want to take a second and talk about PE, since y'all students are going to be doing PE daily. We've really worked hard on putting together a PE program that will allow the students to get that energy out, okay, but also allow them some fun, okay, and also safety. So In the locker rooms, the way that we're going to work it, okay, is that they have already assigned lockers for each student, okay, and they've assigned them based on class so that you don't have kids right next to each other, okay, so you have a first period PE class, the lockers within the locker room are going to be spread out. On top of that, we are only going to let one grade level change out at one time, okay, so we'll let the 7th graders go in there, and so it'll be a very small group, okay, on each side, and then when they're done, the 8th graders will rotate in. So we're not going to have large groups of people in the locker room changing out at any given time, okay, and then we have supervision in the gym. The other thing is, you might have seen these in a lot of the presentations for the top 10. We are beginning to be giving every student on the first day of school during first period one of these. And it's actually pretty cool. You just attach it to your mask, and then you can't lose your mask, right? You can't drop it on the ground or put it face down on the picnic tables because that's not what you're supposed to do. You can keep it hooked here. So this is going to have to become part of their routine because in PE, they're going to be wearing their masks as they change, wearing their masks when they walk into the gym, when they walk outside. As soon as they're done, when they get outside and we start PE, they can take their masks off. But this will help keep track of their masks while they're playing PE. They can just shove it down their shirt so it doesn't flop around all the time. But that's kind of our plan with keeping the masks, but also during PE not having to wear the masks. Related to that, we are following the CDC guidelines on return to play for our PPE program. Okay, so it's going to apply the same way it does for the sports programs. So the first 2 weeks of school, it is going to be all individual activity. Okay, the students are not going to be sharing, it's going to be individual activity, and we're actually going to be spending a lot of time on, here's how to do a squat. Okay, here's how to do all of these kind of traditional body weight exercises. Okay, and then 2 weeks after that, they can start playing in groups of 10. Right, our classes are about 20, right around there, so it might be a kickball game, 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. 2 weeks after that, then we return to normal PE with keeping in mind that as often as possible, we are going to limit the sharing of materials and the sharing of equipment, and also doing our best to continue social distancing even past that 4-week mark. Okay, so we have really tried to think this out. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood and knew what our plan was for PE as well. Regular uniform is required on day 1. Okay, you need to have the khaki bottoms, navy blue or white top, tennis shoes, flip-flops, whichever you like. By the way, because your students are playing PE every day, you either A, want to keep a pair of tennis shoes in your locker, or just wear tennis shoes every day. Totally up to you, but we don't want to be that guy. Oh, look at these cute shoes I'm wearing today. And then you get to PE and they're flip-flops, and that's not cool. So that might be something else to consider putting in your PE locker. Okay, lunch will be served on day 1. All of y'all should have gotten the link to order the lunches. If you put that order in before or by the 27th, then you will have lunch. Yay, on the first day of school if you ordered it. Okay, and then after that, the lunches, if I ordered a side, you know what, I want to add a lunch for my kid, I can go onto that form, the same form, and I can make adjustments, and it'll be ready the next week. Okay, so there is some flexibility where there hasn't necessarily been in the past, so that's kind of good. Cell phone policy, it was covered in the video, but just kind of want to go over it again specifically for the junior high. We do not want them having access to their phones during the day. It just opens up too many things that we just don't want to open up. So please tell your student and encourage your student, they are to be putting their phones, if they have them, putting their phones in their locker before the start of school. And they will not get them back. They will not get them out of their locker until after school. Okay? In the high school, you can have them during lunch and all that, not in the junior high. We don't want to see, basically, if we see a phone through the day, then we're going to take it, and they can get it back at the end of the day. Okay, so just wanted to put that on your radar just to kind of have that conversation with your students. Okay, we find that at the junior high level, the cell phones are way more of a distraction than not, but we also want you guys to be able to feel like you can communicate and they can communicate and they do their thing. So we're not saying leave them at home, you can, but put them in the locker at the beginning of the day, get them out at the end of the day. Peanut-free school. This is really important, and it's one of those things that you kind of let, well, it's fine, it's okay. We do have students on campus with severe allergies, okay, tree nuts, peanuts, those types of things. So just be conscientious. I know it's so much easier to slop together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but we just can't do that because we are a peanut-free school, so just kind of please abide by that. Also, no gum. I love chewing gum, okay, but we just have a gum-free campus simply because it seems like This is what I used to tell all of my students when I was in the classroom. Students between 7th and 12th grade seem to have this affliction that when they're chewing gum, it just like can't stay in their mouth. It's like, ugh. Then it like falls on the ground and they're like, ew, gross, and they walk away, right? I have found gum on the floor in my classroom. I have found it on the wall in my classroom, not to mention under desks. It becomes a serious problem, so we just don't have gum on campus. Mints, great. Listerine strips, awesome. But gum, not so much. And then also, we're not going to have food in the classrooms, simply, again, because of the mess and then bugs and animals and all of that stuff. So no food in the classrooms. We are encouraging you to send your student with a water bottle, a refillable water bottle. Our water fountains have been disabled on campus. However, the water filling stations are still active. So we encourage them to refill their water as regularly. Okay, and there's different water refilling stations throughout, but we don't want them to be thirsty, so bringing that water bottle is really encouraged, and they can drink water in the classrooms. Let's see, schedule changes. Okay, we've had the schedules that a lot of your students got at Junior High 101 may have been adjusted. It's just kind of how it works. It's preliminary schedule. If you have any major issues or your student has any major issues, please contact Mr. Wilson, and he will take care of whatever he can take care of. Okay, in some cases, if it's like, well, my best friend is in the 7th period algebra class, and I really want to be with my best friend, those kind of things we probably are not going to be able to accommodate. Okay, but if it's a placement issue or something other than that, then please contact Mr. Wilson, and we can at least have the conversation. Okay. 7th grade immunizations. I'm sure if you haven't yet had the chance to turn that in, you've had multiple conversations with Nurse Emily. Okay, there was an indication on your child's schedule if she still needs to talk to you. If you're concerned in any way, like did I do that or did I not do that? Did I do that in time? Please go see Nurse Emily because we can't have students on campus without having these forms. Super, super, super important. And then all of those community supplies, we've kind of asked y'all to bring in the tissues and all of that. If you have it now, great. Bring it by my office or Mr. Wilson's office. We will happily take those. And then also you can instruct your students to bring it to either one of our offices as well. They can bring it to their first period class, okay, but actually the best way to do it would just be to put it in one of our offices. Okay, we're going to have a lot. And then we'll distribute it out. And thank you for doing that, by the way. 7th and 8th grade are still in need of a lot of those things, more so than high schoolers. So we appreciate you doing that. All right, let's see, I'll do that at the end. Okay, important reminders. So we have a system called Bright Arrow. Everybody is enrolled in Bright Arrow for emergency notifications. Okay, so if there's a hurricane and we have to have a school closure or, we're reopening or, something of that nature, that will come across in that emergency Bright Arrow message. So everybody's enrolled in that. But we also have notifications that might tell you, hey, it's best dressed. Or, hey, it's out of uniform. Those kind of reminders, which to me are a godsend, because I never remember best dressed. My children don't either. So those are kind of nice. Those you can enroll in. It's part of the school return to school paperwork. So you can go in there and it says school-wide text notification under the back to school paperwork button on the website. Okay, so those will just give you those notifications. If your student is riding Trigger Transit, then notifications for that will be set up automatically. So if they happen to be, running a little late for some reason, then you'll get a notification and then you'll not be wondering why the bus isn't here at 4. Okay, in terms of communication and how we kind of communicate with you, there's a lot of different ways. One of them is the Bright Arrow, okay, which is a really helpful tool. But also, Friday newsletters are going to start again, I think, this week. Okay, so please check your email every Friday and look for that Friday email. It's got tons and tons and tons of information that, it could be related to a sports, it could be related to clubs, it could be related to activities that are going on campus. Very, very helpful resource. And check your spam folder, because sometimes those communications, especially the first time they go out, can get into the spam folder, and then you can't find out the information. So take a look there. And then we have social media. We have Instagram. We've got Facebook, all of that stuff that we post regularly. So kind of keep an eye. If you haven't joined those, then you can, which, by the way, the class of 2026 actually has a Facebook group that you guys are all invited to join if you have not done so already. The actual name of it is the HTEA Parents, Class of 2026. So you can search for that, and then the moderators will let you in. And it's just a great resource for asking questions and, hey, by the way, is it out of uniform day? Those kind of things. And so that's another resource that you guys are more than welcome to use. That's how y'all communicate, not how we communicate to you, but I wanted to make sure you had access to it. On campus, check it regularly. Okay, you're going to have great information. You're going to have monthly notifications from your teacher, your child's teacher. Really, really excellent resource to kind of keep up on. Also includes all the homeworks and assignments for your students. So here's the thing. We are really, in 7th and 8th grade, wanting to encourage the students to be doing as much as possible on their own. Okay, taking ownership. If they've got a question for the teacher, ask that question. Encourage your student to ask the question. Encourage your student to send the emails. Okay? But we also understand and appreciate that they're in 7th and 8th grade. And sometimes they need a little bit of backup. Okay, so you knowing what's going on and checking in is a healthy thing, and it's healthy for their development. Them doing it all by themselves can be difficult. You doing it all for them can be difficult, so it's that happy medium. Being aware and supporting them by looking at on campus and keeping up with their grades and their assignments, but also making sure that they take ownership of it. Okay, teacher and advisor messages. We use on campus quite often for notifications and messages. There's a messaging system that y'all can use. Okay, and it basically sends a message straight to the teacher through on campus. You can also send emails. All of our emails are pretty straightforward. First letter of our first name and then our last name at htes.org. So I'm M. Uzier at HTES. The tricky part is just knowing how to spell some of those names. Okay, and then if you have a concern, this is a great way to kind of look at it. Start with the teacher. Okay, if that's not kind of working out, then go to your advisor, Mr. Wilson. Okay, then you can talk to the department chair. All right, and then if necessary, contact me. Okay, I'm happy to help in any way that I can, but one of the first questions I'll ask is, well, if you talk to the teacher. Okay, and again, it's part of that showing the students and modeling the students kind of on the processes. And then we also have a confidential reporting button on our website. So when you guys log in on our website, into On Campus, when you log into On Campus and you have your parent resources, kind of all those things that are right there, there is a confidential reporting button. If you are concerned about the health or safety of a student or anybody on campus, then you can submit that concern. And it can be anonymous. Right, so we want to use that as a tool if necessary. Okay, for those things, if you have a concern, it can be done anonymously, but that is another form of communication. Okay, I'd like to introduce Ms. Allison Bell. You saw her in the video, okay, but she is our head of planning and enrollment, and she's going to talk about some of our new kind of developments over the summer.
Great. Good morning. My name is Allison Bell, as Mrs. Uzier said, and one of my roles here at Holy Trinity is to really kind of look ahead and think about what things we can do as an institution to make the student experience here enhanced and even better and better as time goes on. And I will say in the next 6 years that your family is going to experience the 7 through 12 experience at the upper school, there are so many opportunities for new and great things to happen. And some of the things that are physical changes to the campus this summer, I think, help you see the direction that we're headed. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was our Lakeview Pavilion, and you'll see that on campus all ready to go. Lots of new picnic tables there, mulch covered area that can be used for seating during lunch and also for classrooms, for outdoor classroom space. We felt like the addition of this was particularly important in our circumstance with the pandemic, but it's a long-term improvement to the campus as well. Our kids love eating outside on a regular basis, so having additional seating of this sort is perfect. And it has a view of Lake Catherine, so that's great. The other area is very, very relevant to the junior high, and we have a long-term vision and goal of really having the junior high space be dedicated to the junior high students, faculty, and staff. And we were able to take some great steps in that direction this year by taking some of our, it's the finance office, the facilities offices, we've moved those to other locations on campus and converted some of those areas to be for the junior high. One of them is this classroom, which used to be an office, and this allows the junior high students who are taking Mrs. Segal's French and critical thinking class, that is, as opposed to moving to a high school classroom building, they will stay in the junior high to take that class. We think that's a wonderful way for them to have that junior high experience, but still be able to take high school classes in that 7 through 12 configuration. The other area adjacent to that is what Mrs. Uzier alluded to when she mentioned Mr. Bowden and Mrs. Bailey. They teach our engineering, coding, and robotics classes that are electives for junior high students, and they now have a dedicated classroom space. We're calling it the Ideas Center for the Junior High. And that is kind of a foundation for your students as they're going into the high school. They're going to have lots of opportunities to take some STEAM classes and advanced placement classes, et cetera, when they get into the high school. And we're hoping that by having dedicated spaces and programs for them in the junior high time frame, it will inspire them as they go into the high school to get more involved in those areas. So with that, I think we're going to now see a video from Mrs. Middlebrooks to share our most exciting addition, I would say, and our biggest change to our campus in many, many years, and that's the Tiger Athletic Complex.
Hello, I'm Colleen Middlebrooks, Director of Advancement. All private and independent schools rely on fundraising to supplement what tuition does not cover. At Holy Trinity, our department hosts events, manages the annual fund, works alongside the booster groups and the Parent Association, and even runs multi-million-dollar capital campaigns. All of these are critical to keeping Holy Trinity at the caliber that you have come to expect. I hope you will consider participating in opportunities as they come forward this year. Thank you.
Hello, I am Mary B. Stallard. I am a parent volunteer here at Holy Trinity. For those of you returning, welcome back. To those of you who are new, welcome. Today, I am representing Athletic Boosters. 80% of our students play a sport. When you give a donation to Athletic Boosters, you are directly affecting most of your students. There are 3 ways to support us. First, buy a membership. The membership pays for the big ticket items like the tennis windscreens, the hydration station, and the brand new hurdles out of the track. Second, buy a Tiger Paw. The paws, which are located on Holy Trinity Drive, lead the way to Ford Field. The students' names are on them and they absolutely love them. Third, buy a banner for your business. The banners hang at Ford Field. For the paws and banners, the money can be directed to the sport your student plays, up to 3 sports per paw and banner. Undesignated money goes to the General Athletic Fund. Your student does not need to play a sport to have a Tiger Paw. Last year, some of the teams used their money for uniforms, pregame meals, GPS tracker apps, water bottles, and cooling shirts. The coaches can use this money to make the team of their dreams come true. This money also means no fundraising for families. But really, the banners and paws are just an awesome way to connect your student and business to HTEA. Go Tigers! Remember, buy your membership.
Hey, Miss Waycaster, let's pitch the Music Boosters.
All right, so here are some reasons why you want to join the Music Boosters. 1, it's cool. 2nd, it's very cool, and we're part of the Music Boosters. 3, you get a membership card, and really the cool thing is that you get 1 free family admission for your entire family to to come to any regular season home sporting event where the pet band is performing. And the pet band is certainly peppy.
And it's only $50?
And it's only $50 for the entire year. And you also get a thank you gift. And if you look around my room, everything that you see here, including this beautiful grand piano, is all purchased with the help of the Music Boosters. And if you look in Mr. Slauson's room, everything there. You talk about drums, we buy drums. What else do we buy?
Marimbas, timpani, we got all kinds of goodies.
All kind of goodies, which we wouldn't have without the support of the Music Boosters. So join us, it's fun.
Hi, my name is Sarah Kimmerling and I am a Holy Trinity 2020 alumni, and I am also the retired president of the Thespian Society. The Thespian Boosters help provide HTEA's theater program director, Mary Carson Meyer, and our Student Thespian Society with the financial and physical support.
The Thespian Boosters are composed of parents and other community members who have an interest in supporting the efforts of our high school theater arts program and Thespian Student Society.
The Thespian Boosters provide a channel of communication between the theater director and parents concerning program functions and activities.
The goal of the Thespian Boosters is to increase visibility of the program through fundraising and marketing efforts.
This helps the faculty, staff, and us, the Thespians, focus more on our annual productions, and it helps ensure that the experiences we have in the program are more enriching and rewarding.
Your $50 annual membership will include free admissions for 2 to 1 of our annual productions. Not only that, but it would also just overall help the productions of our troupe.
So join us in supporting Troop 6429.
Join us in supporting Troop 6429.
So join us in supporting Troop
6429. 6429.
It actually goes to support HT in the context of a senior gift. Every year, the seniors dedicate a gift to the campus. This year, they're putting an aerator, or this class of 2020, they voted to use their money to put an aerator type fountain in Lake Catherine, which is going to, Mr. Lovelace, who retired this past, was very much an advocate of this particular gift. So did want to tie in that where that $10 was going to. It's going to support HT in the campus and any of the improvements that we have. So lots of exciting stuff going on over the summer, lots of exciting stuff going on over the course of the next, couple of years. And I am incredibly excited to be part of it and hope the same for you. A couple of other things before I dismiss you from this painfully long meeting. I'm sorry. Okay, we've got a couple more things that you guys can do around campus. We've got in the library, the IT staff is on hand. If your student has not had a chance yet to log into their on-campus account, I would strongly suggest heading down there and getting that done so that they're ready on the first day of school. Okay, you can access that Gmail account we talked about as well. We have in the front office, Nurse Emily is collecting those forms I mentioned. And also, you can buy those PE uniforms that still need to be purchased. Okay, we have out in our quad area in the courtyard, I think I mentioned it earlier, clubs, sports, those are all setting up tables right now so that you can kind of wander around and see all of the opportunities that exist for your student here. And then one other thing, in the Tiger Cafe, okay, which is right out this door, we have we have the sheets of paper that we're going to be using in the car line. Okay, so if you are a car line person, please head over to the Tiger Cafe and pick up your, this one's blank, but pick up your car for the car line. It's something that we're doing that's a little bit new this year. I mentioned it in the video, but we're trying to keep things moving. So if you're carpooling, make sure you're sharing these types of things. We'll just put them in your dashboard, and then we can get the car line moving pretty quickly, and at least that's our goal. So we're going to give this a shot. So those are in the Tiger Cafe. Please, 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 please pick them up. And if you have any other questions, please, I'm going to be here for a while. You can come down, you can ask. I am happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Your students will be done in a little under 10 minutes. So if you also just want to hang out here in the air conditioning until they're done and then find them while they're wandering around, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So thank you so much for coming out to orientation. I hope we answered some of your questions or even questions you didn't even know you had. But again, please, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those and just come on down. Otherwise, we will see y'all students on Wednesday.